ओ शिवा मेरे को शक्ति दे। ओ ईश्वर मेरे को शक्ति दे। ओ काली माता मेरे को शक्ति दे, ताकि मैं तेरे लफ्ज़ बोलूं, ताकि मैं तेरे लफ्ज़ बोलूं सच्चाई के, ताकि मैं तेरे लफ्ज़ बोलूं दानाई के, ताकि मैं तेरे लफ्ज़ बोलूं हिकमत के। Have you been prolonging the duration of your meditation every day while you are practicing meditation? You have been following me since the October 1st, 2020. You like October? Does this excite you? You have been following me since the October when I started my YouTube channel, yeah? And then what happens? The whole point is not telling you the stories, the words of truth and wisdom that some of you are taking as stories. But it's okay, you are my children. You understand, you are my children. And the one who is a guardian or a parent, try not to get mad on children. So keep in mind that you prolong, that keep in mind that you prolong the duration of meditation. The longer your duration of do not force it. The more you force something on yourself, the more it would bounce back. You understand that? Do not force it. Do not try to suppress something, you see. Do not try to press on you. That's not the point. The point is to liberate you from suffering. You see, when you go into a state of meditation, I have explained more than once that when you go in the state of meditation, I have explained more than once, do not verbalize in your mind, I'm going to be in a state of meditation. I hope you are following me. When you verbalize, the intention is subtle, it's settled, you see. It is more, you do not have to verbalize, just you do not have to verbalize when you go and you urinate in the more articulate manner. Your body just knows, you see, your body has an intelligent system of its own, basically. And your body and your body just knows very simply and easily. It prompts your mind that you need to take certain action, and then you go over there and you urinate. But the point I'm trying to make is but the point I'm trying to make is that when intention of something is more subtle, it is more settled, then you do not have to verbalize in your mind. The nature of the mind is such that mind is nothing but the discriminatory aspect, you see, and it seems to have a will of its own. It does not want your will. Please understand, your will and the will of the mind of all humanity are two separate things. Your will is coming from authentic you, but the mind, the will of the mind is definitely based and shaped on the content of it. If you understand, it's just the content. Today, I'm trying to bring some clarity as far as how to cleanse. Today, I'm trying to bring some clarity as far as how to cleanse the content of the mind. Understand something. After we pass on, I am reluctant to use the term death, you know by now. After we pass on, after bodily demise, or in this moment in time to make you comprehend death, the discriminatory aspect, the reasoning aspect, which we use most of the time if we have a predicament or contradiction in our mind, to get out of it, because the feeling is not very pleasant. The feeling is not very friendly. It's just like the rubber band tension that you feel within you. You see, we don't want that rubber band tension. So, content of the mind, the discriminatory aspect, the reasoning aspect goes, you see, but the content of the mind is not gone. Now, such a person would only progress by the content of the mind. Hence, it's very dire, very significant, and it is very necessary to get rid of the unnecessary content of the mind, to just not take it as natural, if you understand, nothing natural about it, and do something about it, you see. Um, when we see somebody in our surrounding, the discriminatory aspect of our mind tells us numerous things. It presents numerous scenarios when we hear something in our surrounding, but the mind of humanity, which is a collective mind, has become so conditioned and so pessimistic and so negative that we concern ourselves for no reason with the phenomena which are happening around us, if you understand that, for no reason. I have seen people when they are with me or in my surrounding, or they are walking with me, or any number of reasons, and their eyes, you see, are wandering around for no reason. They are very uptight, like everybody's out there to get them. You know, there is no reason to be uptight, otherwise, you cannot rectify or get rid of the unnecessary content of the mind. It is the whole education in more than 215 or 216 videos, or probably more, on a YouTube channel, is the entire education that would help your transformation. It just depends that how serious you are as far as your transformation, if you understand. Do you know the difference between the change and transformation? You see, I'm sure that most or all of my seers are educated. So I would take it that maybe you do. I do not like to make assumptions, as you know. So I would say maybe you do, maybe you do not. And just in case if you do not, transformation is where nothing remains of none of your old pattern remains, where you do not act most of the time, if not all, in the influence of your memory or your karma. And change basically is when there is partial, I mean, change basically is in the initial level. Change basically is in the initial level, in the beginning, when you are slightly becoming when you are slightly becoming concerned with your well-being. Change is basically that you are not fully prepared yet. You would know intuitively. There are so many things you know intuitively, but you have learned not to trust your intuition, but your mind. Mind, we have explained the nature of it. You know, there is not enough ever clarity that I can bring about the mind. Not enough, you know, but we are working on it. So what happens basically, that you have learned not to trust your intuition. There are so many things you know through intuition. Intuition is also telling you that now it's time for your transformation, if you understand that. Now it is time for your transformation. Intuitively, you would know. The circumstances around you would generate and it would prompt you. Change is you are not ready for the entire transformation. You still act on the influence of your memory or karma, but you are in this moment in time, you are concerned with your well-being. Both ways are outstanding. Both ways, there is no condemnation on either way. You see, we are here to change the picture of the dharma of the all humanity. Content of the mind can also be changed or reduced, which is good basically, by do not use the discriminatory aspect as much if it is not necessary. Listen to it. You hear somebody, when I take a walk with my people, or when I take a walk with, when I communicate with people, their eyes are wandering for no reason around as somebody's out there. Uh, to as somebody is out there, God forbid me to give them, you know what I mean, or to judge them, or how others are perceiving you, how others are looking at you, what is in their eyes, if their eyebrows are if their eyebrows, however you want to pronounce it. I do not subscribe too much significance on pronunciations, you see. However, however you want to pronounce it. And if somebody's eyebrows are turning, and what is going on in their mind, what is going on in their awareness, when I look at their eyes, the people in my surrounding, basically, when I look at their eyes, I can see through their eyes that these are the questions. While these eyes are wandering around, these are the questions basically that these eyes are asking, if you understand, or looking. This is the discriminatory aspect of the mind. It is as long as the mind is. You cannot take no medication, you cannot use no remedy, you cannot smoke no substance which is as potent, and you would get rid of the discriminatory aspect. We talked about that yesterday too in a brief manner. Discriminatory aspect is as long as the mind is. Mind even survives after the death or the bodily demise. You see, mind even survive after that. But the discriminatory aspect is not surviving. Just the content survives. You see, we mentioned that not long ago. Why am I telling you that? By transcending or creating a distance from the discriminatory aspect, unnecessary thing when it tells you. You hear a sound, you are the center of your perception. You are the center, the very center of your perception basically is the point of awareness. The very center of perception basically is the point of consciousness. Consciousness has no barriers. It has been given to each one of us, everything in creation equally, So the point of consciousness, or the point of awareness, is you, the center of your perception, just one point of awareness. I am another point of awareness. So when I perceive something, I am the focus of my perception. You understand? But I have learned from the society so many unnecessary things that I realize profoundly when I maintain tremendous focus, that these things are not necessary. These things can give birth, These things can give birth. Have you ever given birth? So these things can give birth to further content of the mind. The lesser content of the mind is, the less duality is in your mind, the less double-minded you are, and the more sound and the more potent the more sound and the more potent your meditation would be. Please understand that. More sound and more potent your meditation would be, the lesser your content is. You see, it is easier to control a room which encompasses or has four people in it, while it is rather difficult or extremely difficult to control a room which has 100 people in it. Is that a fact or it's not a fact? So many complicated things, or your interpretation of complicated things can easily be understood by maintaining focus, can easily be understood to look in things profoundly. Just like that, imagine that room is your mind. The lesser the content is, the easier it is to control it. The more the content is, it is difficult. The more difficult it is to control, you see. So do not attach yourself. I mean, I was working back in the state of Washington in a facility, basically. I was working back. I was working back in the state of Washington in a facility, in the warehouse. It was a huge warehouse, some type of production warehouse, and we had these stations. Every now and then people would try to get to the next station to me, because um, I became known to spew wisdom. So excuse me. So I became known to spew wisdom. That's why they tried to be around me. Every now and then there would be lads, and they would be working with me in that environment, and people are doing in their surrounding, and one of the lad is saying, or similar type of statements, one of the lad is saying or similar type of statements, that I wonder what the guy is looking at, while, I mean, have you not noticed these small things that you do every day? For the most part of your day, not only this is generated by the content of your mind, but this is also creating more content. This is detrimental to your peace. This is detrimental to the inner silence. This is detrimental to your spiritual growth, because it would give birth to judgments. You understand that? You do not know what's in somebody's mind. You can never know. It's not possible. They want you to see what they want to show you. Please understand that. So quit trying. What is the use of trying to figure people out what is in their mind? So I looked at the lad and I said, listen, why it is so significant for you, or why are you trying to figure out basically that what that person is looking at? If even if that person comes here and looks right at my face and stares at my face for hours and hours, it would make no difference in me, you know. If he tries to hurt me in any shape or form, or touches me or anything like that, then it is a different story. Then obviously every individual has the liberty to defend themselves. But that does not happen, people. There is no reason to feel uptight, or that does not happen in most cases, but is the assumption in the mind. It is the content of the mind, is the discriminatory aspect. Do not concern yourself what somebody is looking at. Do not concern yourself who is talking about behind your back. Do not concern yourself if you are hearing a voice or a sound from your surrounding and you think this is going to jeopardize my freedom. Isn't it how you operate for the most part of your day? Or it is going to. Do not concern with other beings around you. Your liberty and your freedom is hidden in the liberty and freedom of those around you. Please know that. This is pure wisdom that I'm pouring out right now. You understand? You see somebody, not only you see the person. Please pay attention to this. You see somebody, not only you see the person, but you qualify the person. You understand? the statement, you see somebody new, not only you see the person, but you qualify the person. The person goes through everything that you know, and what you know is mostly lie, is the content of the mind again. What you know is mostly lie. So you are not perceiving as the person is happening, you are perceiving as you are happening, you see. So the truth is somewhere in between, or the how the person is happening. The only way you can perceive how the person is happening when there is no content unnecessary in your mind. I didn't say there is no content at all, so don't misunderstand me. I try to be very impeccable with my words, and I hold myself accountable for what I say, but I do not hold myself accountable for what you hear. These are two separate things, you see. So what's happening here? It gives birth to judgment. You qualify the person, you see the person, if it is a person of color, if it is a person, if this person is Caucasian or black or brown, according to your experience and exposure and the knowledge that you gathered from your surrounding. Now you label that person according to that, and you do not see anything wrong with that. This is all discriminatory aspect of the mind, and there is absolutely everything wrong about it. Color cannot explain the phenomena which is happening. You see, you have been white, you have been black, you have been brown. I have been white, I have been black, and I have been brown. The moment I die or bodily demise and I leave my body, my soul does not have no color. Your soul does not have no color. The color is in your mind, my friend. The traits are in your mind. It's all the content of your mind. So rectify it. You are responsible for it. Then see how much peace you would gain, you see. And then after that process, when you have qualified, after that process, you move on as to how the person speaks. After that process, you move on as what language the person speaks. If the person has got a companion and talking to their native language, which is not English, and you are only exposed basically to English, then you make an assumption when two beings, two people are talking to each other in their native language, whatsoever the native language can be. You see, my language is English, my first language. However, it's not my native language. My native language is Hindi. And a little bit of Sanskrit, a few words of Sanskrit in my native language. So you make an assumption in your mind if you are not able to comprehend the language or the words that these people are talking about me. How do you know? Maybe they are talking about you. Maybe they find you attractive. You see, did you ever think that way? No, you didn't think that way because that something which would create happiness in you. Then your mind would tell you, don't be arrogant. You are not being arrogant. You are just having a friendly thought. If your mind basically if your mind has to talk to you, if you have to talk to yourself within yourself, then why don't you talk friendly, huh? You have the voices in your head, the voice of knowledge. This voice never stops. As my mentor, the brilliant human being, the transcendent and the wise human being, Don Miguel Ruiz, has written a book, the entire book, The Voice of Knowledge. Please read that book, okay? That would liberate you. This voice or never stops. This voice is trying to make sense everything around you. This voice is trying to make sense everybody around you. This voice is trying to make sense what you are doing. This voice is trying to make sense what you are not doing. This voice is judging what you are doing, and this voice is judging what you are not doing. This is a lot of garbage for one lifetime. I refuse to live in that garbage. You see, I am the rebellion and I am proud of it. I am the one who rebelled against this garbage. You see, We do not know how to love because this voice does not let us love. This voice tries to hook our attention towards look at the person. This voice tries to hook our attention towards color. This voice tries to hook our attention how the person is speaking, the language, the appearance of the person. And this voice is trying to make sense out of everything that you can perceive about the being or the person. This is a lot of restlessness, if you understand. This is a lot of restlessness that you are carrying all the time. That's why you don't have no energy, you see. That's why you do not have no clarity, you see. I have been only 5 or 6 hours sleep in the last 36 hours, can you tell? And I am speaking while I'm still in the state of meditation. I'm not using my intellect until unless it's absolutely mandatory. You see, can you tell? And how is that happening? Because the entire transformation, the entire education that you need to work on too, one by one, little by little, get rid of the unnecessary garbage in the mind. Most of the content of the mind is garbage. And remember something, when we die and we do the bodily transition, when that happens, we survive only by the content of the mind. Hence, it is dire. Hence, it is significant to rectify the content of the mind and challenge it. You see, do not accept it as natural. Do not accept it as normal. You see, there is nothing normal about it. You are hearing voices. There is nothing normal about it. And we have the odyssey, we the humans, we have the odyssey to call ourselves normal. You see, myself included, by the way. I have mentioned numerous times, nobody is better here. Universe does not treat you on the standards of sinner and saint. Universe only treats you in on the standards of, are you aware of me? How much are you aware of me? How much you are going in accord with me, or how much you are not aware of me? Are you banded very tightly with the three dimensional reality, the narrow band around you? You have learned basically to love that narrow band. Are you the one who has learned to love the narrow band? Universe asks you the question. And are you totally fascinated and banded and in love with the three-dimensional reality? Such a person is stuck in chakras. We talked about chakras, but that's not the topic. We don't want to be too bend or deviate. However, people get stuck in the chakra and nature basically however people get stuck in the chakra and nature basically honors what you ask for. If there is no clarity, if your awareness is not high, you wouldn't even realize that you are stuck. You would say this is life. You see, you wouldn't even realize that because you don't have awareness about it. My job is to bring the awareness. My job is to bring the clarity. In this moment in time, in these circumstances, I'm just doing that. Very simple. So you get stuck in the chakra, you get stuck in the chakra. Nature honors what you ask for. Nature honors the content of your mind. Because if you are obsessed with something that would shape the content of your mind, isn't it? Isn't it? It's very simple. It's common sense, actually. If you are obsessed with something, that thing would shape the content of your mind. You see, you people are obsessed. Excuse me. People are obsessed with sex. Have you not seen that? People, the humans, the beings, sometimes I see it every now and then when we are working outside and stuff like that. People get horny for no reason. And why it is happening, why they are so obsessed with sex. You see, they try to find the aspect of sex in everyday dealing, no matter what that is. It's basically that you are stuck in a chakra, in a certain chakra, and you need to raise yourself above it. You see, you cannot maintain is mind frame for more than a few seconds. You see, you need to transcend this. But if you passed on in that chakkar, then when you are based on your karma or the content of your mind, when you are planning your next life, when you are planning your next life, when you are planning your next carnation, in order to do something about the very problem that you are stuck in a chakkar, you still say that I would do this and that because you are not in the bodily form, because you are not in the three-dimensional experience in that moment. So there is a certain liberty that time. There is a certain liberty that you encompass that time. So it seems very easy for you to write on the plan. It seems very easy for you to write on the planogram while you are writing your next coming life, the next carnation, with the help of your guides. You say, no, I am ready this time for these challenges. You see, and this, and this. I would be given these circumstances. I am stuck in this chakkar. I know I need to transcend it. So you would plan, but when you are born and you grow up, you see, after a certain period of time, when the karma triggers, and you still find yourself in that, but this time you do not have the same brain. You see, memory exists on numerous different levels. Please understand that. Memory exists on numerous different levels. You see, memory exists in DNA. Memory, you wear a layer of your memory around your uh, suksham sharir. Memory exists, but immediate memory, you see, immediate memory is stored also in the brain, so you can quickly access that. You understand? Imagine your brain is random access memory, which is RAM. But in the storage drive, which we understand in easy words, in the hard drive, you store tons and tons and tons amount of data. You see, anytime you want to access something from the hard drive, first it arrives in random access memory, you see, and then from that memory, if I'm not mistaken, trying to elaborate only, okay? And then what happens? Just like that, the mind is the storage drive, the hard drive. The brain is the RAM. You see, your brain is new when you take another birth, you know. When you take another birth, your brain is new. So you do not remember what you planned, and the circumstances are being generated again. So you can do something about it. What can you do better now? But then you become fascinated by all this, and that triggers, and you start doing that. Now you are gaining more content of the mind instead of doing something about it, because you don't have clarity, if you understand. Because you do not have clarity in your awareness, because you are not letting awareness run through you, the pure consciousness through your body, you see. So content of the mind is very significant. um, and then, even if your mind prompts when you see somebody and you try to qualify, if you are alert enough, you would say, hold on, right then and there. You wouldn't let it even progress. If you are alert enough, how do you become alert enough, by the way? By caffeine pills, jet alert, or monster energy drinks, or bang energy drinks. You see, in the morning, I have nothing against anything. I mentioned that yesterday briefly. In the morning when I wake up, I have one energy drink. To, but I have seen people their entire days depending on energy drink, you see. But still they feel tired. The energy, they are trying to wake the body up basically, while the very energy which requires, what they are doing basically, they are trying to wake the body up, you see. But the very energy life is down, so it's not going to work very well. Your energy would be high for some time because the blood is rushing faster in your veins when you take caffeine tablets. Too many. Anything which is excessive is detrimental for your body. But you still would feel tired very soon. You know why? Because your life energy is down. What I am saying right now is to bring your life energy itself up. So one cup of coffee and one energy drink in the morning would be sufficient, you see. Just not that you just keep going and going. It would not help you to see the movement of your thought. As a matter of fact, if you are overdoing caffeine and stuff like that, it would make you more anxious about things, you see, about in your surrounding, because anything like that is a brain stimulant, you know what I mean? So only by Kriya meditation you bring the clarity. Only by Kriya meditation and Kriya yoga and Karma yoga you bring the life energy so you can see clearly. Right then and there, when something arrives, judge this person, cage this person. I wonder, this person is my enemy. This person can hurt me. You see, discriminatory aspect of the mind, as I told you. I wonder if this person is going to hurt me. Who is this person? Why this person is here? I don't like new people. I don't like change. I like my old people. All these are the voice of knowledge. All these are the voices that are holding you back to love humanity. You know that? The strong, the very thick and very strong barrier. You see, these are the voices that are barricading you to love humanity. You see, no, you said right then and there, no, none of that is true. I am going to find out the truth personally. You see, I'm going to find out the truth personally. There are numerous beings around you who have ill intentions. Please understand that. They may, there are numerous beings around you who have ill intentions. They may pass themselves as religious people, or they may pass themselves as spiritual people, but you do not know the intention of the person. Somebody hooks your attention by telling something bad about another person. That's how we create differences among humans. It's a sickness in humanity, and it's a sickness in human mind. You see, puts a plant a seed of gossip and doubt in your mind about somebody else who is not present that time, you see. But since you have learned to digest everything like a gullible child, you just go with it, you see. But I am asking you, question it. I am asking you to question why this person is telling me, somebody who is not even around. Why this knowledge is helping me in this moment in time? Why this knowledge is helping me to bring happiness? Why this knowledge is helping me to feel more jubilant about myself? Why this knowledge is helping me to feel more peaceful about myself? These are the things that you should ask before you even think what you were told about somebody who was not present around, you see. But alertness again, awareness again. So and do not believe this person. Experience truth personally. Do not believe this person. This person is miserable from inside and trying to get you in the misery. Misery likes company. Remember the English expression, the English phrase, misery likes company. That's what this person is doing, this all. Because they like when you suffer. They like when you become agitated from within. You know what I mean? They do not like when we are in unity. They do not like when we are in peace. They keep chasing an imaginary enemy, you see. But we are working on it. We will bring clarity in you as much as we can. That's the mission of us. So do not believe that person and move on. You see, discard the thought. Discard the thought that everybody is out there to get you. Discard the thought that everyone is an enemy. Discard the thought that everyone or somebody's talking about you. Discard it. It's not, you have a life to live. You must be so clear in your thought process. You understand that? Excuse me. You You basically, my friend, have a life to live. You must be so clear and so alert in in your thinking process. You must be so clear and so alert that you know the motivation behind the thought. You see, when something, that human conditioning, the content of your mind yells and says, judge this person, I don't like this person. You may not like the person depending on the relation based on the previous karma, but you are not alert of that either. You see, when that voice you hear within you, judge this person, you see, tell yourself and ask yourself, even if, so if I judge this person, you understand, even so if I judge this person, what difference it is making in my happiness? Is it going to bring some type of happiness? You know, it is so. I had back in India, my father had a friend. He was a poet, you see, back in India, and he projected a false image on people that he was a very outstanding philosopher or this or that, and that's how he carried. It takes a lot of energy to carry a false image. But I had the awareness there's something wrong with this guy. But it's not that I was judging him. I just knew. I was young that time, but I still had the awareness that something is wrong, something is not very right about this person. And this person, he always made a statement. There is nothing. I mean, there is no high or there is nothing. It's almost like a drug when you gossip about other people. Like stuff like that. That's what he would say. That there is nothing more fun. But when you gossip about somebody who is not around, that's what he said. And he was older man. And people say wisdom is synonymous with your age. Are you kidding me? And you accept it. You even pass out the memes like that wisdom has something to do with your age. Wisdom has nothing to do with your age. Wisdom has everything to do that how clean you are, how clean the content of your mind is. He was old. Supposedly, he was supposed to talk about peace. He was supposed to talk about unity. He was supposed to talk about things like that among humanity. And he's saying that the one who is not present around, basically, you, it's like a drug and it's like a high when we gossip about them. This is what you are passing to the upcoming generation who holds the dharma of this humanity on this planet. You have a role to play. This is how you are playing the role. So I called him on it. And I said, you did not earn, basically, you did not earn any respect from me, because as a matter of fact, a little bit of respect that I had in me about you is gone too, because you project negative things, you say negative things. And after that I started avoiding him. So distance yourself from people who gossip, distance yourself people who play on drama, distance yourself from people who try to hook your attention for no reason and play on distinction and discrimination. You see, distance yourself. This is a lot of garbage. You don't need it. Your life is too brief and your life is too short. Shush. Your life is too brief and your life is too short to carry that kind of tensions in you. So when the mind prompts you, judge, you say, no, I am not the judge. Tell it to the judge. Say, no, I'm not going to, because it's not changing anything in my life. It's not bringing any happiness in me. It is not making me comfortable. All it is going to do to feed you. You are talking to mind now. You are saying all it is going to do to feed you because you need food right now. And I'm not going to give you the comfort. I'm not going to make it easy for you, just like in the past you made it difficult for me. Just like that, I'm going to make it difficult for you. I have turned the tables now. This chapter is called My Liberation. This chapter is called My Happiness and My Peace. Humans do not as much humans do not as much victimize each other, if you notice, as much as their mind, the very collective mind of humanity victimizes humans. Have you ever noticed that? Hmm? If you take all these negative traits from you out, you would realize that how liberated and how happy and how peaceful you feel. Human do not. I repeat again what I said. And you can get here too with tremendous focus by Kriya meditation. Humans do not victimize. Humans do not victimize each other as much. They are being victimized by the collective mind of humanity. What can you do about the collective mind of humanity? You can create a distance from it. And then once you see this collective mind of humanity, once the distance is created, once you see the collective mind of humanity as a spectator, then you are out of it. You see, and when you are out of it, then you can create good intentions that would give birth, if you understand. You can create good intentions, and those good intentions would give birth to good thoughts. You see, you would generate then good thoughts. You have your role to play. You have a contribution to make to create good thoughts. The thoughts about love, the thoughts about self-respect and respect for others, the thoughts about peace, the thoughts about unity. Those are the good thoughts that you would penetrate, you see, in the those are the good thoughts that you would penetrate in the very mind of humanity. This would be your role, this would be your contribution, if you understand. But first, you need to learn to create distance from it. It is there, you don't have to worry about that. Once you can see the movement of the thought, then you are obviously out of it. You are not in it. You see, once you can observe and the promptness, what prompted certain thought, then you are out of it. And once you are there, you are already distanced from it. And once you are distanced from it, then you can create the thoughts of love, peace, unity, nurturing life, you see. So do this is a very significant tool that I gave you today. If your focus was intact, if you misunderstood something, my messenger on Facebook sadly and unfortunately is not letting me message. You can always get in touch with me through my email, which I have published on my YouTube channel. You see, do not go anywhere. You heard the bell a few minutes ago. So this was the time that I solely reserved for the words of truth and wisdom. Now the time is to be silent. The time is to be silent within and silent out. And the time is solely for meditation. So do not go anywhere. I would be back soon and we can meditate. Karavam, Saravam, Saravam Kalvitam Brahma, Saravam Kalvitam Brahma. Happy birthday. Remember, I told you every breath that you are inhaling, you are being born again. So happy birthday. You like to be wished happy birthday? Keep meditating. Absolutely. There is no negotiation on meditation, my loved ones. And remember, my seers, my followers, my loved ones, keep meditating, keep taking the right measures, as I have been explaining over and over. And always remember that I love you. I always have, I always will, no matter who you are. I love you.